Greetings and family to another episode of The Refined Alchemist. Today is 5/29/2018. I need to make more turpentine mix, so I don't have that right at the moment. In the prayer, we're going to do something a little bit different. So this is my declaration of independency. For now I see the hypocrisy of a so-called democracy, and a psychological word salad is how I see. What's wrong with me and what I believe? The pharma companies own our dependencies. If only you could see this land isn't free. If it was, then I could just be. And not worried about the world around me judging me for what I don't want to be. Just like a worker bee that don't see he works for a colony and tries to be something bigger than he. Please, in this communist country, we are told in every way how to be and what to believe. So we believe in things that aren't real, like gravity, never proven hypocritical theoretical theories, where things like buoyancy has more answers to me than gravity. But again, our beliefs define our reality. Don't trust me or my beliefs if you like the rules of this reality. Because to truly be free, first you must see as I see. Then and only then will you be free of the rules and poverty that has been bestowed upon me. Remember, the streets are still cold and the people still mean. So let go and see the unseen. But remember, the more you see, the more you are seen. Hope these words don't judge me again, because there's still much left unsaid. So I leave this greed and green for things unseen, because I've already seen where my souls have been, and I don't need to go back there again. Yeah. So that video I made, NASA's playing God. Let's talk about that for a second. So the day that I took that video was a crazy day. Wow, the day before I took that video. The day before was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and I was totally unprepared. My phone was dead. But as I'm sitting outside smoking a cigarette, first thing in the morning, just enjoying the sunrise or whatever, I hear these like kind of trumpet sounds, just and what sounds like giant turbines winding up, Every single time that I heard one of these, you look in the distance and a plume of steam. That's basically what it looks like, a giant plume of steam just rising up from the ground. As the morning progressed, I started seeing them pop up all over the place. It looked like I was in a friggin' video game, man. And then you see all the plumes come up and then start bending over and going into the jet stream. Now, if you watch NASA's Playing God, you'll see that. Not to mention that earlier in the morning, I was sitting out there and I was actually watching the sunrise. And when the sunrise actually came up over the trees, this shit did not look right. It was the most surreal thing I've ever seen. I've been on this planet 40 years. So some of those, trumpets in the sky, I watched a bunch of those videos, and I swear, those videos were just like mine, where they're hearing just what I heard in NASA's Playing God. And then the plumes. In a lot of those videos, you'll see that there's crazy storms going on. Okay. that's kind of crazy. Today's 5/29. So yesterday, 5/28, around midnight, I go out and I go sky watching. You know, some of the things that I saw last night, I don't know, man. I don't care what you call me, but some weird shit's going on in the world. So, I already talked about the plumes and NASA's playing God in the morning, where it looked like I was looking into a portal. You know, it's some crazy shit. But then you also have weather anomalies from Weather Channel. Now, in NASA's playing God, those three pictures, or the next one, those three pictures at the end, yeah. So, for the progression of 3 months, I see these circular things around all these military installations, you know, not that far from where I am. That night of the pictures was the 25th, the day before. And first of all, around dusk, the moon was probably at a 75-degree angle from its rising location. So it was like pretty fresh into the sky, you know, quote unquote. So by 10 o'clock, it should have been no more higher than the, you know, the 12 o'clock position in the sky, right? The 90 degree. We go outside and smoke a cigarette. There's no moon. And it's kind of crazy because the moon's been bright as hell these last week. I mean, almost every time the moon, like, busts through a cloud, it's almost like a little mini sun on some real shit. Like, it lights up the night. But on the 25th, around midnight, there was no moon. It should have been at the 90-degree angle. So we start staring, and then we see this huge disc thing. Like, shut up, man. It looked like a crazy disc thing in the clouds. We run inside, freaking jump on Weather Channel. Well, she jumps on Weather Channel with a phone and takes those screenshots. This is the 25th, like, a couple days ago. So, man, I seen another video where somebody's talking about triangular shaped clouds, you know, in the TR3B, and how they make their own kind of cloud cloaking shit. Okay. Yeah. So yesterday, the 28th, I saw some pretty interesting shit. Hold on, I think. Yeah, I got a bunch of pictures that I could add into here because I did try to take some. So let me add those, and I'll explain some of them. So the first two are the moon. Like when I first went outside, right, and the moon started coming up. First of all, the moon was the brightest red. Like, it was almost like an orange red, you know? And I remember looking at it like, damn, man. Thing's kind of red. So I'm just minding my business outside. A couple minutes later, then I'm looking at the moon and it doesn't look right. Like it doesn't look right. It looks like it's oblong. I'm like, what the hell is going on? How does that look like it's oblong? So I get the crappy camera I got, try to take a couple of shots of it, right? I get back inside, I start playing with the creator mode, you know, my editor. I don't know, I put in a distant shot so you can see the blood red moon. Like, this shit is crazy. Meanwhile, the sun just set. Like, set. You can see it in the horizon. So, the sun's probably as furthest away from the moon as it could possibly be at this point in time, and it's blood red. Like, blood red. Okay. And then it's not even a perfect circle. It's like an oval. Okay. And then when you adjust the color, well, looks like there's two objects all together. What the fuck? So then, later on that night, we go outside. And we notice the stars. And the moon really didn't look right. Now, I didn't have my camera at that point in time. I wish I would have just snatched it and tried. But I couldn't believe literally what I was seeing. All the stars that were really close had like something hanging from the bottom of the star. Like it was an extra light. So you would see the brightness of a star, you know, however you envision a star. But then there was another thing hanging below it. And then you look at the moon, and it looks like, I don't know, there was like a second moon. And then if you close one eye and look at the moon, it was emitting some really crazy blue light. What the fuck? And then the Big Dipper, like I've already stated. Man, the Big Dipper was doing some crazy shit last night, man. In one night, it changed 30 degrees. Nah. According to science, the stars move across the sky, you know, according to our spin axis. They don't change degrees. They don't go from 0 degrees to shift to like, you know, 70 degrees to 90 degrees back down. What the hell is this? Like, they're supposed to go, you know, like that, right? Or maybe eventually go like that. Now stay in the same spot, go like this, then jump all the way over here, then back, then this, then this, then and the stars. I've been staring at the stars, and tell me why all the stars pretty much look exactly the same, right? When I look at them, here's the body of the actual star, you know, that glow. And every time you stare at the center, you see these green wings. And if you even stare even more, you got 4 wings, right? And then something looks like a scabbard, maybe a sheath to a sword that sticks off the end. And then he's always on all that, he's holding the sword. Yeah, you can see his arm, and then it's got his wings and the sword. Now, every single time I look at the 2 brightest stars here, they pretty much have the same shape. Now, anybody that I've talked to and drew their attention to it said, yeah, they pretty much see the same damn thing. So last night, I saw this, like I've never seen before, like almost a full-fledged, I don't know, beam. But there was also another anomaly that's going on underneath him, like way down here, like a second star was underneath it. Now, in this point of the game, I don't care what really anybody thinks about me, my beliefs, whatever the case may be. It doesn't even matter, man, because ultimately I'm telling you all the same shit. Better get right. Fear. They say in the books, man, the signs will be in the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, but these last couple nights I've been seeing some really crazy shit in the skies. Those TR3Bs, yeah, pretty much seen those too. I mean, I got miscellaneous cloud shots that I'm about to add. And then I got crazy shots of 2 of, like, I guess the mother shits. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like the mothership. And the crazy thing is like, we took a photo like an hour later after the one photo. It was like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Yeah. And, still there. So, let me add those photos. Okay, so you got these big circular anomalies, you know, that show up in storms that I've picked up off Weather Channel by the month. Then, like, other channels talk about the triangular shapes in the clouds and cloaking devices and shit. Yeah. Pretty much seen them too. That's a thing. But to make matters worse, yesterday was, I'm telling you, the weirdest fucking day ever. Now, I had some pretty fucking weird days. Today was the weirdest. Yesterday, sorry, the 28th. So I think I got those plumes in the distance, like I stated in the beginning of the video, figured out, right? Like, their factories, NASA's playing God, you know, just blowing off mad steam and bullshit into the air, feeding storms that ironically just keep hammering, you know, New York and Boston, ironically. You go to Weather Channel, you see that freaking energy source coming directly out of Switzerland, heading up north all the time, to the point that they cut it out on the Weather Channel. I wonder why. At the same time, according to Weather Channel, you have the fires of hell coming out of the South Pole. One of the coldest regions on the planet, right? So why does it look like the fires of hell are coming out of there? Hmm. So I'm sitting outside, and again, my camera phone was kind of dead. But I seen like a fleet. When I see a fleet, I mean a fucking armada of these triangular shaped clouds. These mothership type things fly over the house. Slow as fuck. Like, I don't know. Like, if I had better equipment and I was able to take a time lapse of the whole thing, that would have been insane. But to make matters worse, each one of them was also given off its own plume. So imagine flying, you seeing these triangular clouds fly over your house, right? And then these huge plumes of steam shit come just billowing out the top of it to the point that it looks like it almost hits the the ozone layer, quote unquote, the dome. And then it levels out. And then it's directed. So I go for a ride, and in the distance, in both directions, east and west, are these massive plumes of shit, so wide and so big. It just looked like, imagine like the mushroom cloud to like an atom bomb or nuclear bomb or whatever. And then you have these triangular shapes flying all over the place, freaking pushing out all this vapor shit. So, if you know electricity and shit could be passed through this, right? And you heard about all that biblical shit, about the fires, blah, blah, blah. Man, imagine if they ran like a crazy, crazy current, like 5G current through this. They could probably set the air itself on fire. And then you have like this whole fleet of not only triangular shit, circular shit. Man. And how is it that so many people can't see this shit? Like, can't see what's really going on in the world. What the crazy shit that's actually truly been hidden from us. And then we're the crazy ones because, we see this shit. And I see this shit with my own eyes. Like, my own eyes. It's not like I'm going to, again, other people's channel and saying, and making a compilation of shit that other people. This is stuff that I'm just sitting in my backyard watching. Pentacles. Oh. I'm pretty sure. Remember my story that I always mention about the RAKE? I'm pretty sure there's one around here too. Remember the RAKE? Yeah. So, hmm. So I got a couple stories for you. It's kind of creepy. A while back, when shit was kind of crazy, I was looking out the back door, and I kept hearing this weird call, growl, whatever you want to call it, outside. Now, it was so loud that I actually went outside to try and see what it was, because honestly, I've never heard anything like it. And it's kind of weird. So I opened the door, and I noticed that there's a car on the other side of the house shining this light between the houses, which is fine because there's a street over there, and it lines up. I didn't think anything of it. So I take a couple steps out the door, and all of a sudden I see like a shadow run in front of the headlights through the houses. To make things even creepier, I seen a shadow run across in front of me, but I didn't see what made the shadow. I was kind of startled and went back inside, freaking locked the door. I told my girlfriend what I had seen. She kind of looked at me like I had a penis going off my forehead. A couple days later, I'm looking in the backyard. And I see this blue, black, purple thing make 3 bounds. And went almost 60 feet. Yeah, in 3 bounds. If you watch my videos, there's a bird feeder, a black bird feeder in the backyard. It made it past that in 3 bounds. I'm sitting there watching this shit like, what the hell was that? And then it just goes out into the field and it crouches over and it just hunched over. So I'm watching it for a couple minutes to make sure it doesn't run off. It sits there. So I go grab my girl and the flashlight, and I'm trying to tell her where it is. And I'm like, it's right on the other side of the bird feeder. Like, I could still see its silhouette. The ground was still cut and shit. She's like, she don't see it. So I get the flashlight and I shine the flashlight right on it, right? Now every time it looked, you could see its eyes. And I'm like, yo, you see its eyes? Like every time it looks. She couldn't see it. So I get mad, man. I open the door and go outside. That's when she sees it, because it takes off and goes across the field. And she's like, yo, you might want to come back inside. I just seen it. I'm like, okay. I thought it was coming in. Then she explained like this Predator kind of thing. Like if you imagine the old 80s movie Predator, where there was like a transparent thing, but it cast a shadow, run off. And she said that thing was fast too. So a couple nights ago, like around the 27th, and these are reasons why I haven't been able to make some videos too, man. Just so much stuff has been going on, it's crazy. So anyway, a couple days ago, we're outside and we're watching the sky. And I started hearing weird noises all around us, right? Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but... So I was a little jumpy. So I go to the front porch, and I look in between the two houses, the next door house and our house. Pretty bright moon, so I could see pretty good. All of a sudden, I see the shadow come lunging down the freaking alleyway towards me and jump into a prance, like a pouncing stance kind of thing. Like the shit was gonna jump on me. I freaking jumped into the house and I was like, yo, get the fuck inside. Like some crazy shit's going on. About, I don't know, half hour later, a freaking frog comes hopping up to us and it's like wrapped in spiders. Like, I don't know, man. It must have taken down every spider web in this garage. So we kind of cleaned it up and then we brought it to the front door to throw it outside and shit. And we're standing there and now I got a flashlight and shining it down between the two houses. I'm not even paying attention because I'm like staring at the sky or whatever. And my girlfriend comes over and she looks in between the houses and she pulls me inside. I'm like, what the hell? She's all like, kind of like hysterical at the moment, but not really. She's still collected. But she's like, I seen something out in the field. I'm like, well, what the hell did you see? She's like, I don't know, something that shouldn't have been there, regardless. And I'm like, well, was it kind of like what I was telling you about before and what we saw, a couple of nights ago or whatever? Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's just great. Now, I was in Connecticut a couple of years ago. And I also believe that I had another encounter with the rake when I was in Connecticut. I just didn't realize it until just recently, a couple months ago. When I awoke and started researching some of this shit, and I obviously stumbled across some shit. So, back in the day, I was staying over at this girl's house, and every night there would be a weird energy in the house. I kind of thought it was just like, I don't know, maybe a mild haunting, whatever. But nah, man, there was too many freak occurrences that was going on. First, there was a well underneath the kitchen sink. Like, they went straight down, and who knows where it went. Probably to an open chamber underneath some, I don't know. But that's how it was getting into the house, because everything else was sealed up nice. But that hole. But every night, man, you could feel when that thing came. Because the energy, everything just shifted. And to the point we did experiments and had people come over and see how they reacted around a specific time. When that specific time came, yeah, they hightailed it every time. We'd be laying in the bed, watching a movie or something, and we hear rustling in the kitchen. Shit'll get knocked over. It was just weird, random shit. And one day we hear it up on the roof, and it runs across the roof and jumps off the roof and lands onto the deck. And it sounded like a full-blown man kind of just jumped off the house and landed on the deck. And I'm looking at my girl like, what the fuck was that? She tried to tell me, oh, it might be a raccoon. I'm like, that's the fattest fucking raccoon I've ever seen, man. It's like a grizzly bear raccoon just jumped off your shit. So, one night, crazy late, my girl's got to use the bathroom. Usually I go down there with her, just because of the crazy feeling that's down there. And she tells me, no, I don't need to. So I'm just sitting in bed and waiting. Right? She gets to the bottom of the stairs and then hysterically starts screaming. Like, what the hell, man? What the hell? So I jump out of bed, obviously, fly down the stairs, turn on all the lights. While I'm doing this, I hear all kinds of crazy rustling and her screaming hysterically, yo, like. So I snatch her up and I carry her upstairs. And I go back downstairs and make sure everything's locked up. And everything's locked up. Windows, doors. The only thing that's not locked up is that cabinet underneath the sink. Finally, I get her to calm down. And she tells me, like, this story of, like, when she went downstairs, she saw this thing hunched over, like, over by the bathroom. And it was just hunched over and it kind of just looked over at her. And then she froze and it kind of lunged at her, but I also started going because she screamed. So it lunged at her and then scuffled down the kitchen sink. And she was petrified, laying on the floor, screaming. Oh, man. So when she tells me this thing, like, I don't know, I'm envisioning like a kind of like a ghost thing, right? Like, I'm not thinking RAKE. I've never been exposed to the RAKE or that bullshit before. Wasn't until just recently that I freaking stumbled across a RAKE in my voyages, and then yeah, that whole experience made perfect sense. And now we're seeing shit here. And lo and behold, there's a military base right over there. There's a Walmart right over there. That means there's probably tunnels all over the fucking place. I can sit here in the garage and hear shit underneath us, like, all the time. All the time. To the point where I think I even have a stethoscope tucked away. I do. So I can listen. I go outside and sometimes I hear freaking random gunfire. I think about 3 or 4 days ago I was hearing what sounded like a 9mm fully automatic, probably like a Uzi type thing or small assault rifle, the MK5. I'm not sure. It sounded like a 9mm though. Yeah, but we're the crazy ones because we know what that shit sounds like, you know. So what should you be doing? Definitely not being afraid. Worst case scenario, you're going home, regardless. If you're lucky in the first event, the main event, the one that kicks it all off, that's when you go. And people like me, probably gonna survive this shit to the bitter fucking end. Or be one of the first. Probably, because of this shit, I'll probably be one of the before the main event even kicks off, they'll probably come kick in my door, then call me all kinds of stupid shit like a terrorist. Yeah, okay, tearing my ass. This is definitely a spiritual war, man. Some really pussy ass people and things have hid behind the scenes. And the funny thing about the RAKE is, I believe, like, you ever look at Nosferatu, for example? Like, go online and look up Nosferatu and wipe that vampire mentality out. Replace it with, like, a reptilian. Add a couple features. Well, doesn't Nosferatu look just like a reptile? Doesn't the RAKE, if you do enough research, look just like a reptile? And you got hierarchies and everything. It's like I said, back in the Egyptian days, they split freaking reality. They tore reality into two factions, the spiritual realm and the physical realm. Put a pause on history, put a pause on time, slowed everything down, dumbed people down. But ultimately, they're trying to create the matrix and trying to slave as many as possible. It's not for your benefit, it's for theirs. The ones that don't go, yeah, you're only gonna have 3 choices. Join them, stay holy, quote unquote, righteous, serve the Father, the Creator, or not exist at all. Like, if you don't believe in something, I don't know. And they will have their time. Everything's already basically said that. And you think the Father's gonna end it if there's still good left? No. It won't be until all the good is gone. That's the point of the 144,000. That's the point of dissension. That's the point of free will. Point of friggin' meditation, Kundalini shock, aura, chi, force, whatever you want to call it. Utilize your free will, make up your own mind. See past the bullshit. Be a spiritual being. Because now they're merging the spiritual realm back with reality. They're bringing 3, 6, 9 back into 1 through 9. When that happens, you better be prepared for one of 2 things. One, to merge with the technological bullshit in the Matrix. Or be one of the 144 and try to bring as many sheep back as you can. Or you're just going to be caught between 2 realities and... So finally, what should you be doing? You should be praying and meditating hardcore. So when this shift does happen, they don't enslave you. And you do serve a purpose. You've always felt in your life you were born for something greater than this. And guess what? You're right. You are. Are you going to embrace it? Are you going to utilize free will? Again, I will be posting more. And again, if I didn't care, I wouldn't be doing stuff like this. Am I 100% right in everything? Probably not. But at least I'm doing the research, and at least I'm still using free will. I'm making up my own mind from things that I'm personally seeing, things that happen, and they love to flaunt it in your face through movies and bullshit. Music. There's so much music out there that tells you, the story. Again, there's really nothing much to fear. We're already past the point of doing anything. Foo Fighters, Sky is a Neighborhood. Yeah, man, this shit is true. Just be ready. Truly be ready, because soon even the sheep won't be able to hide from the reality that they have been seriously lied to for a long time. Everything's a lie. Time's a lie. They say billions in years and blah, blah, blah. Again, I hope these words get to people that need to hear them most. Our time is fastly approaching. Wow. It's those evils. But again, where to bring those home? I was already told where I was going. So these videos, yeah, they're not my purpose. My purpose is coming, but they're not my purpose. What's your purpose? At least I'm gonna do something about it, or die trying to do something about it. Again, I'll be posting more. Alright, man. I love y'all. I'm out.